Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
In front of all my guests, my regulars, and an entire restaurant full of families trying to celebrate Mother's Day. She goes on this loud tirade.
The short version of what you're saying is she made a scene.
I had to get your attention.
All right.
She made a scene in the most inappropriate way. And any chance that I had,
I get it. In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. You want him to pay $628.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, knock my socks off. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. The law talks about something may in fact be true, but can they prove it? And that's what's tough.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Andrea Brina contracted her friend's restaurant to host a birthday party and claims it was a complete disaster. Ms. Brina is suing Donovan Mahler in the amount of $452.50. Mr. Mahler claims he was short-staffed and encountered an electrical issue and says he did everything in his power to make the night special for the plaintiff.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. Ms. Brina, you want $452.50 because you weren't happy with this event that took place. And Mr. Is it Mahler?
Yes.
You were performing the services for this birthday, but it was also Mother's Day.
Yes, sir.
So there was a lot going on in your restaurant.
Yes, there was.
You knew it was Mother's Day.
I did.
You know, Mother's Day, when you go out to eat, it's a lot of people.
It's the busiest day of the year.
Is it the busiest?
For our restaurant, yes.
Okay. And tell me what happened, Ms. Brina.
Well, we had wanted to have a really special event for my grandma's birthday. The doctor had said that she might not live another year. Mm-hmm. And so we decided to rent the room. And her birthday is right around Mother's Day.
Oh, it wasn't the actual same day.
Right. It was just
her birthday.
Very close.
But you said, well, we'll just go on Mother's Day and celebrate her birthday.
That's right. Because we had family coming in.
Okay.
And so
how many people are we talking about?
Well, it was a total of 53.
It's a lot of folks on Mother's Day in a restaurant with everybody else and their mama. And what made you decide to go to this particular location?
Well, Donovan and I have been friends for 3 years. We met at a gym, and he opened up this restaurant. And he's had this restaurant for about a year, I think.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And I take it the restaurant's doing pretty good if it was packed to the extent it was on Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing business is good.
Business is good.
All right. Let's talk about the actual birthday/Mother's Day celebration. What was going on?
Well, we had some family and friends coming in from out of state.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so we wanted to make it a very special event. And so I requested services. And so the services that I requested were for the bar services. Have to have bar services.
Well, you were going to have that. You were going to have that would be a given, right? Bar service. What other than what would be normal?
And also requested the PA system.
You wanted a PA system. All right, that's not normally something that would be there, but I get that. And what else?
And for a projector.
Projector. What, you going to do some sort of slide or video presentation?
Yes.
Sort of reflecting the years of her life?
Yeah, since Grammy might not be around for another year. That's what the doctor said.
Is she still around right now?
Yeah, she is, just barely.
Okay,
yeah,
well, that's good news.
Yeah.
All right, how did they do with the bar service?
It was slow. It was terribly slow.
Everyone my God, on Mother's Day, I can't imagine that.
Yeah, but folks were starting to get a little upset. And what's really bad is, when we got there, the projector, it wasn't even set up. And so...
Is that true, Mr. Mahler?
So when she got there, the projector was not immediately set up. I was short-staffed, 3 people that day, and we had been slammed since the beginning of the day. By the time she got there...
Well, was the idea that the projector would immediately be up and running as soon as people got there?
No, I never...
Okay, because you're saying no, and she's nodding like yes.
Well, we had to wait. We had to wait because we wanted to use it the whole time.
She waited 20 minutes.
Was it longer than 20 minutes?
She was good to go for the rest of the event.
It was a long time, and then the bulb went out. And the bulb went out,
but wait a minute, we got multiple things going on with this projector.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Didn't start until 20 minutes other than the time that you had wanted it to.
That's right.
And at some point, it's playing and then it goes out.
Yes, and the bulb. So then they had to go
Was there
find
a
a
problem
bulb.
with the bulb?
So the bulb.
Is that yes?
Yes.
All
The
right.
bulb
How long did it
burst.
take to replace the bulb? I don't need to know the details. I just need to know there was a bulb that went out after 20 minutes. 20 minutes doesn't seem so unreasonable. 20 minutes, you're into it, and now the bulb goes out. Okay, now the party is starting to become a little challenging to maintain the spirit and the moment. And how long did it take to deal with the bulb issue?
About 30 minutes.
All right, so now you're like an hour ultimately inconvenienced. That's a problem. You also mentioned something about a PA system.
So when there was the outage in the room, the PA system did go out for a little bit, but we had that up and running as soon as possible.
Define a little bit.
It was the same time as that the projector was out, about 40 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yes.
That's not a little bit.
Coming up on America's Court.
In front of all my guests, my regulars, and an entire restaurant full of families trying to celebrate Mother's Day.
She made a
goes
scene,
on
is what
this
you're saying.
loud tirade.
The short version of what you're saying is she made a scene.
I
She
had
made
to
a
get
scene.
your attention.
All right.
She made a scene
So,
in the
Miss
most
Brina,
inappropriate way, and any
I get
chance
it.
that I had,
I get
any
it.
thought.
And later,
I don't have any reason to think that you won't do well because this one photograph alone tells me you're a model.
I appreciate your honor.
You are going to be a broke model if you don't step your game up.
closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Andrea Brina, who is suing Donovan Mahler for breach of contract.
Other than the PA system and the projector and the bar service, was there anything else that went wrong?
Well, since it all took longer, that was part of the overall charge. And so I paid the
My
total.
question was there anything else that went wrong?
Well, I had to pay for that extra hour and a half.
Okay.
It was
Nothing
a
maybe
Maybe
whole
I'm
wrong
saying
after that,
it
Your Honor.
the wrong way. Was there anything else that happened wrong
No.
at the actual event?
No.
All right. You're saying because of those three things, I shouldn't have to pay the full amount that he's charging me.
just the service fee. Just the service fee because
Let's
that
make sure I'm
25%.
understanding because you know what you're talking about, but I don't. There are costs involved with the food and beverages.
Exactly.
That's not in dispute.
Right, that's right. I
Okay,
paid
so
all
no
that.
problem for the food and drink. Are we talking, I know that if there's a party typically over 6, there's automatic 18% gratuity. You know, some people will go higher. Was that paid?
Everything was paid.
It was, but it
So
was
there
not
was
a part
no
of the
issue
service
with
fee.
respect to the gratuity.
No issue.
No.
I paid everything. I
All
just
right.
want a refund on the
You're
service fee.
you're
Just the
like-
service fee.
All right.
Just that $452.
She wants a refund on service that she got.
Well, wait, we're not there yet. Slow your roll. The service fee is all these additional things, going to get a PA system, going to get a projector, or making sure it's set up, making sure someone's operating,
Right.
breaking it down, putting it back, all those things.
Right.
Yes? And I take it, you both keep talking about a contract. It must have indicated that. Does someone have the contract?
I actually
Yeah,
do
we
have
do.
it right
Of course
here.
you would have that contract.
Take what you got.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, you just gave Deputy Thomas some. What are you giving me,
I'll take
Ms.
what you
Brina?
got. Okay.
What are you giving me?
Well, we both have the contract.
That's
Oh, you're
hers.
just.
Yeah.
And that's his.
We want to be helpful.
Who
And you can
highlighted on their contract? Did you highlight Mr. Mahler?
Yes. You'll see on there, she signed saying that she was going to be bringing 47 people, not 53.
Right, but you also highlighted any additional guests will be added to the bill.
And I paid that. I paid for all those folks.
Okay. Now this is an email where you're letting her know she may want to reconsider Mother's Day. It's her busiest weekend of the year.
It's a text message.
Right. And then your response, Ms. Brina, is I get it, but unfortunately her birthday is just a few days before, and it's always meant a lot to her. Then you say, gotcha, we'll work as best we can. I'm excited to host you and your family for such a special occasion.
All right.
All right, you guys seem pretty, what's the word I'm looking for?
Amicable.
Thank you, sir. That was exactly the word I'm looking for. Everybody seemed pretty amicable here. The only issue is should she be compensated for the lack of the areas that she wasn't happy with? It always sort of takes a little of the air out of the balloon when the electrical
Can I mention
stuff.
something really quick?
Yes.
That pertains to this. So there was, towards the end of her event, she met me in the restaurant, and she came and presented me with a very angry sort of attitude, and in front of all my guests, my regulars, and an entire restaurant full of families trying to celebrate Mother's Day.
She made a
goes
scene,
on
is what
this
you're saying.
loud tirade.
The short version of what you're saying is she made a scene.
She
I
made
had
a
to get
scene.
your attention.
All right.
She made a scene
So,
in the
Miss
most
Brina,
inappropriate way, and any
I get
chance
it.
that I had,
I get
any
it.
thought that I might have had,
Sir,
and giving
you're
you
not
any
listening
sort
to
of
me.
break
You're
on it.
over-talking me. That's not going to work in your favor. I get it.
I'm just saying.
I got it. She made a scene, and you didn't like it. And now you sort of dug in because she made a scene, and that could impact your business. It's not complicated.
Thank you.
Did you make a scene?
I did, but
That's a
I was
yes.
so upset.
Then you know
and
what?
it was my family there too. I
don't-
embarrassed myself.
Both of you are embellishing way too much. A simple yes works for me. All right, I get it. Both of you were a little ticked off with each other, but you've had a great relationship. It's been amicable. It's been harmed, but that doesn't mean it's fatal. You know, it was a special occasion. People get worked up, emotions involved. The grandmother may not live. She wants it perfect. All the family's there. It's a reflection on her. If things don't go right, I get it. It's his business. He's trying to make money and continue to do what he does. I get it. What is there more to add?
Okay.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel will come down in favor of the plaintiff. She is entitled to have some of that money shaved off of her total. And given that you still did pretty well, I'm going to award her $250. That is your judgment. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $250.
I'm so relieved that the judge awarded me the $250 because he understood how important my grandma's birthday was for me.
Well, I'm sorry that things didn't work out as well as they should have, but she's welcome to come back to my restaurant at any time.
And coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
I don't have any reason to think that you won't do well because this one photograph alone tells me you're a model.
I appreciate your honor.
You are going to be a broke model if you don't step your game up. You know what I'm saying?
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Adam Lang claims the defendant used his likeness on her website without his permission and wants to be compensated for it. Mr. Lang is suing Alexandra Levin in the amount of $1,000. Ms. Levin claims the plaintiff knew he would be giving up his rights to the photos by attending her event and says he could have chosen not to attend.
So you're a model.
Yes, sir.
You look like a model, and you feel as though your commercial value was minimized to the tune of $1,000. You feel like you should be compensated. Go ahead.
The reason why I feel like that
Yes.
is because this isn't my first go around with Miss Levin with photography, social media.
Oh,
and-
now I didn't realize that you all had some other situations. When in your complaint, you just said you weren't happy that your image was on her website.
Correct.
But you're saying this is not the first time.
No, my image was on her website before. She takes really, really great photos.
Is it a situation where you guys just travel in the same circle? Because how is it that he just coincidentally keeps popping up in these images on your materials?
Because he attends my events.
Is that true? You're attending her events.
Yeah.
I have, Your Honor.
And
I've
how is
attended
it that
3
you're
events.
finding out about her events?
My buddy Alex, he is a model, and
Okay.
he's the one that connected me.
Are these industry-related events or are these more social in nature?
I would say both, Your Honor.
They're both. So you're also enjoying yourself at these events.
Semi-sorta at this point, Your Honor.
The first time your image was on something belonging to Miss Levin, what was that situation?
It was just a regular everyday photo shoot. Wasn't anything.
This was
different.
actually a photo shoot of you in it.
Yeah, it was non-paid anything. I was not into modeling when I first got here to Los Angeles.
Well, then what was the photo shoot? Do you recall that situation he's talking?
No.
You're not disputing that this is something that could be true.
So
Are you questioning the veracity of what he's telling me?
when people come into my events,
Yes.
I have this release notice.
Coming up on America's Court.
I don't have any reason to think that you won't do well because this one photograph alone tells me you're a model.
I appreciate Your Honor.
You are going to be a broke model.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Adam Lang, who is suing Alexandra Levin for $1,000.
This is pretty standard that you see in many situations where if it's a big group, there's usually a big sign that reinforces the fact that there's no liability, don't expect to get paid, any royalties, and if you don't want to be photographed, let us know. Okay? Seems pretty reasonable. Mr. Lang, did you see this information?
There was not one form at all in that whole loft in Los Angeles, not one.
Who has the image of Mr. Lang?
I have my own image,
I'll
sir.
take that. Have you seen that image, Ms. Levin? Yes?
Yes.
Because I see what you have here. Oh, okay. This is not just crowd shots and people posing next to each other for the camera at a party. This is Mr. Lang, you know, in seemingly in what he does, which is model. Where does the $1,000 come from?
The $1,000 because I recently did a photo shoot, and like I said, I'm new to LA. In my first photo shoot, I did get $1,000.
You have proof of that?
I do not right now, Your Honor.
Then why would you think that you just telling me?
Yeah.
Even if you get paid in cash, you can videotape the exchange. But at least I have something to then determine if it's credible.
You're right, Your Honor. I
You
also
understand what I mean?
signed a contract with that photographer that day.
Where's the contract?
I do not have it on in the courtroom right now.
How long have you been modeling?
About 3.5 months exactly.
Okay. I don't have any reason to think that you won't do well because this one photograph alone tells me you're a model.
I appreciate it, Your Honor.
You are going to be a broke model if you don't step your game up.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
If it's for editorial purposes, now we're talking free speech. So in other words, if he was at an event and then there was some sort of fight or, God forbid, someone got injured and it was reported and you see his image, well, the argument could be, well, we're not using it for commercial purposes. We're using it for First Amendment free speech editorial purposes. This is completely commercial. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, I'm not convinced that the signage was properly displayed, which doesn't bode well for you because the gavel is going to have to come down in favor of the plaintiff. The question is, what is he entitled to in terms of compensation? Is he going to get $1,000? That's not going to happen. But you are entitled to at least have some nominal amount that establishes that you should be compensated. So your judgment, sir, in this case, and it's a lesson that I hope you learn, is going to be $100. That is the order. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $100.
I got $100, but I sure did learn my lesson.
From now on, I will make sure that the disclaimer is clearly posted.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.